Let's have a look at entrepreneurship. And the definition of entrepreneurship is the process of starting and running your own business. So, an entrepreneur is a person who takes all the risk of starting a business with the aim of making a profit by meeting needs and wants of customers. So, remember when the business is started, the person who starts the business actually takes on all of the risk because should the business fail, they would lose money. Let's keep it moving. Right, so characteristics of a successful entrepreneur is that they are hardworking and they're willing to put in long hours. As an entrepreneur myself, I can tell you it takes hours. It might seem like it's easier because you're working for yourself, but you have to work twice as hard because you're competing with other existing businesses when you're starting or whenever you're in the business, you need to constantly be on in top form. Then be creative. You need to be able to come up with new ideas. So you cannot stay stagnant when you are an entrepreneur. You must make sure that you keep ahead of the times, that you keep on moving. If the one thing becomes stale, you keep on moving and you do new things. You must be a risk taker and willing to take financial or personal risks. So the financial risk is when you're starting up your business. Sometimes you lose money, sometimes you have a lot of money, sometimes you have no money. And also personal risks because remember when you are working the long hours you get to see less of friends and family. Then you need to be able you need to have confidence and you need to believe in your ability to succeed. So an entrepreneur needs to believe in the dream, in the business that he or she has. So if that is if you lack confidence as an entrepreneur, you're not going to make it move the way that it should. Then the entrepreneur needs to be a good communicator and able to sell ideas and work with people. In order for you to get new customers or clients, you will need to be able to communicate and sell your ideas and let people know why your service or your product is desirable or better to have. Then the entrepreneur needs to be disciplined. You need to stay focused and manage your time well. You cannot have gaps where it's a total shutdown of the day and you don't work on your business, right? An example of this for me is if I go into my personal TikTok account, by scrolling through 3 hours, I've gone and then I didn't manage my time properly. So I stay away from TikTok as much as possible so that I can work on my business. Now let's have a look at why an entrepreneur is important. An entrepreneur creates jobs for themselves and for others. As your business grows, then you would need to employ other people so that you can deliver a successful service. It drives innovation, so new ideas and inventions are constantly made, new inventions constantly made when you are in business, and then when you come up with new ideas all the time. You improve the economy through growth in tech. So an entrepreneur makes, whether or not it's a registered business, through growth in tax, you will be paying tax wherever you're going. Tax is included in most of our daily life, and also then growth. It resolves problems. An entrepreneur resolves problems and offers services and products that people might need. This is why it's important for you to make sure when you do become an entrepreneur what the need is and what your service or your product will be. And it reduces poverty by generating income. If someone just sits at home and doesn't do anything, then the poverty level stays the same. But when the person starts working on business ideas, whether it is small or big, when the money comes, then it reduces poverty and it generates an automatic income. Now let's have a look at the different forms of ownership. So we have a sole trader, and just as the name says, it's one person that owns and runs the business, right? So the person takes care of everything, of the purchasing and the selling and the marketing and advertising, everything that involves the business. A partnership is two or more people that share ownership. So the partnership, the partnership allows for a bit more flexibility where more than one person takes care of everything. And of course, you would also be looking at the people's expertise when you are doing a partnership and what their responsibilities will be. Then we have a closed corporation, also known as a CC, and it's a small registered business with members. So a CC will have members as well, and these members also share the responsibility of the duties. Then the final one is a private company, a PTY Ltd, and it's a registered company that is owned by shareholders. So these are the people that would be making decisions. They might not be directly involved in the day-to-day running of the business, but they are the shareholders and the owners of their company. And then finally, let's look at a business plan. And a business plan is a written document that explains the following. It explains what the business does. So you would say what your business is doing, who the target market is. So the target market, very important if you're going to be providing a product that you're selling, let's say for infants, that would be the target market. However, the parents would be the buyers as well. So they are included in the target market specs. How the business will make money, and this will be a reflection of where you will get your money from. Marketing and pricing strategies, this is important. You need to know how you're going to market your business and what the strategies, the pricing will be for your items. And then startup costs and financial needs. This document, if you are going to be applying for funding and not self-funding your business, you will need to be able to say what the startup costs are and the financial needs of the business. That's under 7 minutes. I'm sorry for the long-winded video.